Well, good morning. Are you ready for a Zen Fit this morning? Beautiful day here in Blackstone, the center of the world, but then you too are at the center of the world. So let's get started. The Thanksgiving is over, the house is cleaned up, the family, we had 35 people here yesterday. House was brim to brim, table to four tables with 8 people. And wall-to-wall houses, wall-to-wall family. And they left late, 10 o'clock something, but the house was cleaned up. Everybody brought food. It was a fabulous feast and seamless. You know, it's really great to have a great family reunion and know fights and somebody trying. Drama and all that stuff. Just a lot of joyous bonding and visiting. Anyway, so the title of this talk today, my Zen Fit this morning, and I have one every morning now. Sorry, you're just going to have to bear with it. It's called the Unicorn in the Garden. Now, for some reason, this myth has been like part of my personal myth. Ever since I've been married, even the fact that my wife and I once had a stained glass studio, and we named it the Glass Unicorn. And upstairs, we have a huge, big tapestry of the unicorn in the garden. And when we were living up in Cleveland and we went to New York, I remember a friend of ours took us to the New York Museum, where they have these great tapestries of the story of the unicorn. You should look this up. It was the myth of the Middle Ages, but it was not Christian. It's a pagan myth. So it was kind of like let me give you a brief outline of the story of the unicorn. Because, I saw a unicorns that you buy you go to the craft show and you buy unicorns. Everybody's got a unicorn. What's a unicorn? Well, we just think it's a fantasy owl. It's kind of like a little fantasy animal, something. But no. It's a great, powerful myth. So we should take a look at it. Okay, so the basic outline of the unicorn is that the unicorn is wild. You can't even, like Bigfoot. Nobody's seen one. They're so wild, so mysterious, so elusive that they're there, but nobody's seen one. But you're going to catch one. So the only thing that will attract a unicorn out of the forest, out of the unconscious, is the aroma of a virgin. And the unicorn will come and lay his lap in her head. Sorry, did I say that? Lay his head in her lap. And the town people would be waiting, and they would come out, and the unicorn would buck, and like trying to capture a horse, but they would catch him, and they would put him in the unicorn tapestry is of the captured unicorn is the little garden. It's very small, but it's a circle. It's got a tree in it, and the unicorn is very comfortable sitting in his little garden, but he's got a chain around his neck. He's tied to the tree of life. Tree of life, oh. So the capture of the unicorn is important for the rejuvenation of the town, of the people, of humanity. You see, the spring must go. The spring is the unicorn. There's winter. Will spring come? We better capture spring. We better go out and capture spring so the plants will grow and we won't starve to death, you see. So this cycle, this rejuvenation, restoration, restore America, bringing back the life in the winter, in the death, life coming out of death is basically you got to have a unicorn. You got to get a unicorn. And of course, we all know the symbols of the unicorn in the garden is this, you see. Right? We all know what that means, right? That's the male and female principle. It's even in Hindu religion. This is the lingam and the yoni in Shiva, worship of Shiva in India. Unicorn, garden. So the unicorn is captured, and the town and the garden is replenished, you see. And and it was a pagan story because there's no Jesus in here, in the sense that the Christian, Europe, pagans, bad. Well, Europe, the Western, the culture we come from, we don't come from Asia or India or Africa, we come from Europe, no white people. And this culture was pagan for thousands of years. And then after the Holy Roman Empire, the Roman Empire collapsed, which civilized Europe with the Roman order. The Catholic Church superimposed, replaced the Roman order with the Catholic religious order and overlaid their mythology over the pagan mythology, like a soil, a thin layer of soil, Christian soil, on top of the pagan mythology, the pagan religions, you see. You don't erase it, it's still there. So what grows up through it, you see, is a mix. But we have to keep it separate because, you see, Christianity says paganism is bad, you see. So it's disguised. Easter Bunny and stuff like that. So anyway, the unicorn is a is a story that can come from the deep roots of Europe with the forest and the deep roots up through Christianity, and the priest wouldn't mind, you see. It's just about unicorns. You can let that go by. That won't hurt us, you see. So, and I just learned the other night that watching some British mysteries, British documentaries on the monarch of England, that the unicorn is Scotland's sacred animal. That's interesting. The lion is British. So you see, in the pictures, the tapestry of the Virgin, and next to her is the unicorn and the lion. Isn't that interesting? This was a symbol of the unity of Scotland and England with Queen Anne, the Virgin. Well, Queen Elizabeth was the Virgin Queen. I don't know if Anne was or not, but anyway. But the whole idea, the lion and the unicorn together is Great Britain. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, we're talking about this day after Thanksgiving. And why am I talking about the unicorn on the day after Thanksgiving, after the great home tree event, where all the fragmented pieces of the family come back to restore, they come back to the garden. They come back to restore their bond with the family. They come back to restore their place in a fragmented modern world where everything's being bulldozed and changed and moving and jobs and here and there and going everywhere. What's fixed? What doesn't move? Well, if you're lucky enough to have a home tree or a family home where maybe the family album is, where the memories are, where your childhood is, where your parents, maybe the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, the extended, those who stayed at home still live, and where the memories of growing up, and where you're it's like the soil, it's like your pagan soil beneath the overlay of the modern world and jobs and career and breakups and coming, all of that stuff, you see, is overlaid over this deeper soil of where the roots of our family and history lie. So we come back to the home tree, to the hometown, where to replenish. It attracts us. And so that's what Thanksgiving's about. It's kind of like coming back to the garden where the tree of life grows, you see. But then it's interesting how as the physical families age, like me, I'll be 83 next month. How about that? But anyway, and I'm the oldest one now. Everyone else has died off. I'm next. So anyway, the families grow as they mature. You see, they bring their unicorns and their gardens back to the family. So we just had a recent marriage, and she brought her unicorn. Look what I caught! I got a unicorn. He's going to be in my garden. And some of the young men brought back their garden. Look! I've been caught by this garden. This is going to be where I'm going to grow. So anyway, the unicorn in the garden is a movable feast. It's a movable myth, you see. But let's dig a little deeper. Let's dig a little deeper now, because most people will go, oh, there's the Christian story of it, Oh, this is really about Jesus, or, no, the pagan story, but let's go beneath that. Now, if we go beneath these two layers of soil, we're going to come to an underground stream. We're going to come to a fresh river of a wellspring that if you tap into that, it's going to come up through you. It's going to pour forth through you. And it will, maybe at the beginning, it'll cut off and you say, what happened to the water? Then you find out where the clog is and you pour some Drano down there. But you get it free, you get it flowing again, you see, because there's a wellspring of water, grace, beneath the pagan and the Christian overlay. It's been piled on top, you see. So any creative idea, any insight, any aha, any eureka, anytime you know what to do after a period of confusion, dark night, after some dark night of confusion, I don't know what to do, my life is fucked up, I don't know where to go, I'm unhappy, something's missing, my promise is not here, it's not supposed to be this way. All these things happen on the topsoil, you see. So whenever you suddenly have a breakthrough, whenever suddenly you have a shift and everything looks different and you know what to do, you have tapped in to the underground stream of grace, if you will, of unicorn. This is what the unicorn is tapped into. But the unicorn, you see, is just a form that we can see, but the energy of the unicorn is formless. But it's there, beneath the topsoil of religion and paganism. It's there, flowing, but you got to dig down through it. You got to dig down to get to it. And when it comes up, you know it. You just may get a drop. You just may get a drop. That's enough to get you out of a fix. Like MacGyver, he's in a fix and there's a whole bunch of stuff lying around. He gets a drop of the unicorn, and he puts this and this and that together and he gets out of the fix. Just a drop of the unicorn. But then we want more drops. I'm reminded of the submarine bath. I always use the submarine, my 3.5 years on a submarine as my my metaphor. And the submarine bath, in the submarine, I hope I'm not drifting too far, but the submarine, when you go to sea in an old electric diesel boat, you had 2 showers for a crew of 80 people, and you would fill them up, they would fill them up with potatoes and food, so you had to eat your way to a bath. So in the meantime, before you ate your way to the bath, ate the showers, clear food, you would have a submarine bath. So a submarine bath is you go to the faucet in the sink, and there's a little drop hanging there, and you get that little drop, and you put it up here in your eye. So anyway, that one drop of the unicorn river flowing beneath all the gardens, you see, is all you need. But then you want more. So you start learning how to dig and to get the water to flow up, you see. That's why I do Zen Fits. My Zen Fit is a practice that lets the water flow, that digs down in through the Christian and the pagan layers and the modern. You add another modern layer on there, modern Christian religion, secularism, Christian paganism, all 3 layers of dirt. Underneath it is the wild and free energy of the unicorn. But when it comes up in a form. It isn't going to come up like gas, although it does in me. But I mean, it comes up in a form, a story, something you can see, form. Now Zen, let's close up with this. This is why I love Zen, because it is a science, or it is understanding of the formless spirit that is beneath the three layers: modern Christianity and paganism. Down here, there's nothing except potential energy. Freud calls it the unconscious, you see. Potential energy. When it comes up into time, into consciousness, it comes up in form. But not just any form. It would be, what would that be, like snowflakes? You know, what is that? It comes up in a story. It comes up in an idea. A form, you see. And when one of these forms come up through the three, you see, it's going to change the world. It's going to change you. But then we freeze it, and then as soon as you fix it, it dries. You can't get back to the water. So the virgin, to come back and tie it up here, the virgin is an empty mind. A mind that's not judgmental, a mind that's unconditioned, a mind that does not attach itself to any form, you see. So it's always open, always questioning, always not knowing, always empty. That's the virgin mind. But the story, you see how it works up in the Christian level. The story of the virgin is the mother is Mary, and she has in a form, and she went to heaven physically. She's still going up there, trying to get to the end of space. Still moving, you see. But that's the form of it. But what's the story of what is the way to understand the virgin without form? Now, if it doesn't have any form, it's you. You are the virgin mind. When you practice what Jesus says, you see, and love your enemy. Accept your enemy. It doesn't mean go kiss them. It just means to be curious about them. What is this? I question this enemy. What is this pain he's causing? What is the hurt he's causing? What is that, you see? I'm open to it. So I invite the unicorn. So when we have a virgin mind, we don't capture the unicorn. We invite the unicorn. We invite insight. We invite knowing. If you want to put it in the Christian terms, it's okay. You invite God. Come into my life, you see. But you have to empty before it comes in. You got to pour, you got to empty. You know, if you got a cup full of you and everything you know, a cup full of opinions, beliefs, religion, ideology, politics, it's all full. I know what's going on. Then you're wrong. Pour that out and see what happens. A unicorn will happen in your life. That's what's happening. Thanks for dropping in. Have a great day and have a Zen fit.